This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know for Monday, December 16th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, and stick around after the break. We'll tell you how to make sure we never get canceled. Item number 5 today, Syria. Some hints at the future of Syria developing over the last few days. Number one, the president of Turkey, pronouncing it the way the Turks pronounce it now, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan gave a speech last week where he lamented all of the territories that Turkey lost in the early 20th century, talking about after World War I, where the territory basically south of Turkey, Mesopotamia and the Levant, divided up by France and United Kingdom, basically. He pointed out that Syria should truly belong to Turkey. It's also worth noting that over the weekend, as soon as Damascus fell to the rebel group HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the offshoot of al-Qaeda, the director of the MIT, which is Turkey's equivalent of the CIA, was seen driving around Damascus with Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, the head of HTS. Ibrahim Khalin is the head of MIT. He is, to put it this way, what would you think if a coup took place in a foreign country and as soon as the rebel group captures that capital, the head of the CIA, William Burns, was seen being chauffeured around by the head of the group that had just captured that city? That's essentially what's just happened in Syria with the head of Turkey's intelligence agency being chauffeured around by the head of the group that knocked off the regime of Bashar al-Assad. Meanwhile, the sheikhs of 6 Druze villages in southern Syria, they're just on the Syrian side of the border with Israel on the Golan Heights, have asked to be annexed by Israel. This is just adjacent to the expanded buffer zone that Israel created inside Damascus. Haider is the biggest of the Druze villages on the Syrian side of that border, and they're looking at their options. Doesn't sound like they're crazy about the idea. They call Israel the lesser evil, but the greater evil, of course, is HTS, which is in Damascus, about 20 miles away from some of these villages. So not clear as to how or whether this will happen, but the Druze, who are neither Muslim nor Jewish nor Christian, have been treated better in Israel than they've been treated by the Sunni rebels over the last 13 years, or in fact, over the many, many centuries that they've coexisted inside what is now Syria. In fact, in southern Syria, further to the south and east, the area around Jabal al-Druze, or the Mountain of the Druze, the very southernmost part of Syria, there was an independent Druze state between 1921 and 1936. They've been loyal citizens to Syria, Lebanon, Israel, wherever they live. There are many Druze who fight in the IDF, but again, looking at the prospect of Sharia law, which HTS wants to impose, versus the way they'd be treated by the government in Jerusalem, these Druze villages on the border of Israel's territory in the Golan Heights asking to be annexed. Let's move on. Topic number 4, drones over New Jersey. Got a couple of emails over the weekend asking if I was going to talk about this. I did talk about this last Thursday. Just to recap, people in New Jersey for a couple of weeks now, several weeks, since mid-November, been seeing drones in the night sky. The areas in orange on that map of New Jersey back there, places where they've been seen. Pointed out last Thursday that the Picatinny Arsenal military base, which is a U.S. Army research and manufacturing facility that makes military-grade drones for the U.S. Army, is right there. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that these are drones being tested by the U.S. Army. The fact that the U.S. Air Force or the Air National Guard has not been called out, despite these drones getting awfully close to sensitive airspace. 4 international airports in and around New York City, Newark, New Jersey, Donald Trump's home and golf course there at Bedminster. Hello, Grace. And, of course, New York City itself, sensitive airspace. If these truly were foreign adversaries floating these drones into our night sky, you would assume the Air Force would have something to say about this, mainly with Sidewinder missiles fired from an F-22 or an F-35. It's not impossible to think that Iran or some other foreign adversary could be the source of these drones. It's just highly unlikely. Now, a couple of other possibilities. The Federal Aviation Administration's Reauthorization Act of 2018 expires this coming Friday, December 20th. And the act that has been proposed, the bill that's been proposed to reauthorize the FAA for a couple more years, would give them more power to control and regulate drones. So that's worth considering, that perhaps this is not coincidental. The House Homeland Security Joint Subcommittee held hearings on House Resolution 8610 last week, which is titled the Counter-UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act, UAS Unmanned Aerial Systems. So it's possible, these drones are being floated out there by the government to get us all hyped up and then get Congress to say, yes, we need to give the FAA more authority to regulate drones. Now, the fact that they're getting close enough that Orange County's airport in New Jersey had to shut down flights for a while on Friday night, maybe it's not a bad idea. Anyway, that's also a possibility. The most disturbing possibility was put out there by a man named John Ferguson, who we've confirmed is a drone manufacturer who manufactures drones for the U.S. military. He posted to his TikTok channel over the weekend that perhaps these drones are flying at night because they're looking for something that they don't need to see visually. In other words, perhaps looking for something with a radiation signature. He floated the possibility one of the 80 or so allegedly missing nuclear warheads from Ukraine. Ukraine was home to many of Russia's the Soviet Union's ICBM arsenal. And when the Soviet Union broke up, those weapons were supposed to be transferred from Ukraine back into Russia. Not all of them made it. Again, as many as 80, reportedly. Is one of them missing? Did one of them make it to the east coast of the United States? We have no way to confirm. No way to confirm. The man's name, again, John Ferguson. He posted this to his TikTok channel, just passing it along. If we can find out more, we'll pass that along to you. Item number 3 today, Bidenomics. Joe Biden's time in the White House is almost done, but his economy staggers on. Somehow, 4 years after COVID shut down the economy, major retailers are doing worse in many ways. CBS News reporting over the weekend that U.S. retailers have announced more than 7,100 store closures through the end of November. That is a 69% jump over the same time period last year. The surge in store closures comes when consumer spending appears to be strong, but some retailers report that people are cutting back on expenses and searching harder for deals and sales. Could also be that we're spending more just because prices are up over last year. Retailers with the largest number of store closures include discount chains, especially Family Dollar. Dollar General seems to be doing okay. Walmart doing all right, but Family Dollar not so much. And drugstores, pharmacies and drugstores having trouble over the last few years. Again, the number of store closures this year up 69% over a year ago. Topic number 2, bending the knee. That image, by the way, generated by AI. Amazon has joined Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, in donating $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration. First, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta chipped in $1 million of pay-to-play money at the Trump inauguration. And now Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon and the Washington Post, dropping $1 million for a seat at the table. This is part of a pattern recently in which tech companies and their leaders are taking steps to repair their relationships with Donald Trump. They didn't think he was going to get back into office. And now that he's set to become the 47th president of the United States, Facebook, Amazon, Washington Post wanting to rebuild those bridges. They are perhaps concerned that Trump will use his authority to rein in the power of the tech companies. Mr. Trump had some issues with the Washington Post during his first term. He also argued that the U.S. Postal Service had given Amazon a sweetheart deal in shipping their packages. But we will see how this plays out. They are bending the knee and trying to play nice, hoping that Trump doesn't turn the tables on them during the next 4 years. We've read the Facebook files, the Amazon files. We know who the tech guys serve. Coming up, the Vatican does a U-turn on that Palestinian Jesus. I'll tell you more next on 5 and 10.
right now is the time to understand what the global powers that be are planning to unleash in an effort to perpetuate continued conflict on the world stage, regardless of the changing of presidencies or the will of citizens. Skywatch TV urges you to take advantage of the Preparing for World War III Hyper Collection. This incredible collection includes not only Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis's new book, Preparing for World War III, A Global Conflict That Redefines Tomorrow, but it also includes his best-selling book, Progressive Evil, How Radicals Are Redefining America's Rights, Institutions, and Ideals, Making Her Globally Irrelevant for the End Times. Now, you'll receive both of these urgently needed works, but that's not all. You'll also receive the Shadowland book and companion DVD that exposes everything from Jeffrey Epstein to the Clintons to the occult elite and reveals the deep state actors at war with Christianity, Donald Trump, and America's destiny. These best-selling features are both by the internationally acclaimed best-selling author Dr. Thomas Horn, with foreword by Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $85. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. You can support the ministry of Skywatch TV and help us continue spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the four corners of the world right now by scanning the QR code on your screen, using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. Visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Preparing for World War III Hyper Collection right now. You need to get your copy right away. You need to do it right away. The information in this book is timely. This is a clinic.
Item number 1 today. The Vatican has removed the Palestinian Jesus display from the Vatican. This was a nativity scene that showed baby Jesus lying in a keffiyeh, which is the traditional scarf that was popularized by former PLO leader Yasser Arafat. It is sort of a national symbol now used by Palestinian Arabs and anti-Israel activists, especially them in recent months. The keffiyeh manger scene first appeared in the Paul VI Hall on December 7th. Pope Francis went there and prayed before the display on that day, met with the artists and donors responsible. It came from Bethlehem in Israel. But as of last Wednesday, the keffiyeh, manger, and infant Jesus have been removed from the manger scene. Now, at the time of the reporting, Vatican didn't give a reason for the removal, according to Associated Press. It's uncertain as to whether the removal was due to the backlash, saying, look, Mary, Joseph, Jesus were not Palestinians. Palestinian was not even a thing until the 1960s, when the KGB, Russia's intelligence service, said to Yasser Arafat, hey, you need to rebrand. Stop calling yourselves Arabs, call yourself Palestinians, so people think that this is your homeland. Vatican kind of giving it its stamp of approval, that whole thing. But here's the other aspect. It may also be that Roman Catholics typically leave the baby Jesus figure out of the nativity scene until Christmas Eve, representing his arrival on Christmas Eve. Either way, it's good that it's gone, and let's hope that when Jesus reappears, it's without the keffiyeh. The Resurrection War, Skywatch TV's new virtual conference. It got underway November 30th, but even though you've missed a few days, you've not missed any time, actually. I'll explain. If you sign up today, you still get 90 days access to 24 cutting-edge presentations, including, all, by the way, on the theme of resurrection and why that is so important to us as Christians, including Dr. Mike Spalding, who's done a wonderful study on the Bible as to why the restoration of Israel in 1948 is, in fact, the fulfillment of prophecy. I've got a bonus presentation in there on that theme as well, the secret history of Israel. There's much more there. Find out more and sign up for instant access, something to really educate yourself over the holidays. Take that time and put it to use. Have the family watch. You find out more and sign up at defenderconference.com, defenderconference.com. With everything that is going on in the Middle East right now, the war that began last October 7th, the moves in Turkey, the collapse of the Assad regime in Syria, the proxy war between Russia and NATO in Ukraine, are we on the verge of World War III? Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis has a brand new book, Preparing for World War III, very timely, and that is this week's program on the main Skywatch TV broadcast. You can watch it right now at skywatchtv.com. Over the air at, our broadcast schedule is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can watch it on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Fire TV, or Apple TV. If you've got one of those set-top boxes, please add the Skywatch TV channel to it. All of our video content, including these daily updates, right there. You can also watch it over the internet, youtube.com/@skywatchtelevision or rumble.com/skywatchtv. But you can guarantee we never get canceled by downloading our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet. That way you even get a notification. Something new gets posted, we'll let you know about it, and it's all in the palm of your hand, whether you're carrying an iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire phone or tablet. We have links to all of their app stores at the website, skywatchtv.com/app. 5 in 10 online. You can follow us on YouTube at 5 in 10, on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching. As we keep watch, I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.